Welcome back, guys. So today we're going to be comparing the Supa Retron HD from Hyperkin to the 16-bit HD from Gamerz Tek. Both of these are HDMI Super Nintendo clones, and they both have similar specifications as far as, you know, what they're doing. You know, they're both 720p, that kind of thing. They share all the same ports and all that. The one thing, the Hyperkin does support PAL or NTSC, whereas this version of the Gamerz Tek only supports NTSC. So that's just of note there. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to have the same settings for both systems as far as me capturing the gameplay and the audio. And we're going to alternate between both systems, the same game, the same, you know, visuals. We'll go ahead and do Hyperkin first, and then we will do the Gamerz Tek second, and then we'll do a side-by-side so you can see them both next to each other, and then we will alternate the audio. So what I'm hoping to do here is give you guys a better idea of which system to choose if you are in the market of deciding between one of these two systems. So I really hope this video helps. Let's go ahead and get this party started and jump off into the Hyperkin first. So let's do this.
time.
Okay, guys, so there you have it. You know, we had a couple different, looks at the video and audio for both of the systems. Right now we have the Hyperkin playing. And, you know, the biggest thing that people have pointed out is it's oversaturated. If you go to the logo screen here, you'll see what I'm saying. The Turtles logo it's really bright. It's a lot brighter than the Gamerz Tek version. But if we start playing with saturation, if I take saturation all the way down and you go back to the title screen, you can see a lot of those details in the logo that you're missing when you are at, you know, normal levels of saturation that the system's already set at. So definitely you could correct that through your TV settings a bit. Like right now I have saturation -15, and then even brightness I went down -15, and it starts looking a lot better for me. But just leaving it at normal settings, I'm typically fine with that. If you also noticed as well, we're gonna jump into the Gamerz Tek in a second and just kind of adjust these same settings to peep that out. But the biggest thing with the two, besides, you know, the oversaturation, both of them are oversaturated a bit. It's just more so apparent on the Hyperkin because it's so much brighter. On the Gamerz Tek, it's a lot darker. But one of the other big differences is the audio. The audio comes out almost, it's a little more, it's hard to describe for me, but the Gamerz Tek comes out louder, and at points in certain games it sounds a little tinny to me, but that's going to possibly be my speakers as well. But looking at the bass levels, recording off of both of these systems, the Gamerz Tek is hitting at, you know, just the bass level, not changing any settings, as the sound is coming through twice as loud, twice as many decibels as the Hyperkin's coming through. And like I said, for me, on certain games, I'm getting a little tinny effect there. So we've taken a look at this, adjusting some settings. Let's go ahead and plug in the Gamerz Tek and adjust the same settings so we can peep that out as well. So let's do this. Okay guys, so here's the Gamerz Tek 16-bit HD. And as you see, it's not as bright, it's a lot darker. The blacks are really grainy. The dark colors, you get this kind of like a distortion almost. It's only really apparent in solid colors and dark screens. And, you know, the blacks are kind of light and whatnot. Even getting back to the title screen, as you can see here, and not as oversaturated, but there's still going to be some saturation issues, just not as bad as the Hyperkin. And, you know, you're still losing some details and whatnot, but because it's not as oversaturated, or, you know, and not even close to the Hyperkin levels, it's going to have, you know, a little more detail that you see. It's going to be a little darker. So if we adjust the brightness a little bit, and then the saturation, we're just going to set it the same that I had it on the Hyperkin. You know, you'll see some differences here, and the details come through a little better for me, and you know, it's just really going to be up to you guys. I don't know how many people really are going to want to have to play with TV settings to get the results that they want. Me, I'm not going to. I'm not going to lie. I'm just going to play these systems the way they're meant, or the way they were set up. But as you see, like, you know, I changed the brightness and the saturation. Saturation doesn't need to be changed as much on this as the Hyperkin. But the blacks, once you lower the brightness 15 points like I did, you're not the blacks are darker now, instead of, you know, having that lightness and that weird distortion going on. The distortion's still there, it's just not as apparent when you lower the brightness a little bit. But it just, you know, it's going to make it a little darker, and it was already darker to begin with. But the colors are more on point. The saturation and the colors and the details are more on point with the Gamerz Tek, but there's just that quality issue with that distortion and the lighter blacks for me that are kind of an annoyance. The audio is not a huge deal breaker for me, but like I said, I was getting some tinniness in some games, and the decibels were hitting, it was peaking, for me on the Gamerz Tek, whereas on the Hyperkin, the sound was quite a bit lower. So I hope this video really helped you guys out to make your decision. There's things to like and dislike about both of these systems. I dig both of them for one reason or another. I think I'm digging the Hyperkin a little more just because of the build quality, the controllers and whatnot. But then you have to also look at the price point. The Gamerz Tek is a little bit cheaper, and it comes with 2 controllers just the same. It comes with all your cables, everything that you need. So you're good on that part. But then the biggest other difference as far as the hardware goes is the Hyperkin does support NTSC and PAL, where the Gamerz Tek is only NTSC. So you have a lot more compatibility there. Both of these systems play repros, EverDrives, flash carts, multi-carts, all that good stuff. Both of them are similar in compatibility there. It's just the region locking. The Gamerz Tek doesn't support PAL, whereas, like I said, the Hyperkin, you have a switch for it. And then you also have the eject button on the Hyperkin, which I really like because, some of these systems, man, these pins, like they want to bite onto your cartridge, and it can be a little bit of a pain. So that does come in handy. So I hope the information here helped out, gave you guys a little more insight. I'm not a audio file or a video file. I'm not, into all the terminology and just craziness as far as visuals go and audio goes. I just know what bothers me and what doesn't bother me. And I hope I was able to communicate that as clear as possible with you guys. But you could see and hear on my comparison that I showed here. So hope that was a help. Smash that like button, subscribe if you have not done so already. And I will catch you guys next time. Peace out. Boom. Thanks, guys.